The moment a narcissist realizes you have truly figured them out, the dynamic shifts instantly. You are no longer a partner in their carefully constructed illusion. You become a threat, someone who holds the power to expose the carefully curated facade they have spent years building. There is no room for love, regret, or apology. Instead, their gaze fixes on you with the intensity of a predator spotting danger, like a criminal watching a witness who has just discovered the murder weapon. Every subtle smile, every false charm vanishes in that instant. You are no longer part of their world. They are faced with a force they cannot control, and panic surges within them like electricity. From that point on, dialogue is meaningless. There is no negotiation, no plea for understanding that will change their course. Their mind races, strategizing in real time how to protect themselves from exposure. Every word you speak, every action you take, is immediately analyzed for threat level. They know that you now see the manipulation, the lies, and the exploitation for what it truly is, and that awareness terrifies them. Your clarity represents danger, a key capable of unlocking their total undoing. In response, they enter survival mode. Their goal is no longer connection. It is damage control, silencing, and discrediting you before the world can hear your truth. As their survival instincts take over, they become methodical and relentless. They will not attempt reconciliation, genuine remorse, or attempts to repair what has been broken. Instead, they will work to undermine your credibility, planting seeds of doubt in others' minds, twisting facts, and rewriting the narrative to place themselves as the victim. Subtle attacks, cold dismissals, and manipulative gestures escalate quickly. They may spread rumors, provoke confusion, or feign innocence to maintain their image while attempting to weaken your confidence. Every interaction is a calculated maneuver. Their focus is not on your well-being, but on ensuring that your perception of them never reaches anyone else, preserving the illusion that allows them to survive socially, emotionally, and professionally. Even if you have done nothing overt to confront them, they can sense the shift. There is a palpable heaviness in the air, a tension that vibrates in every interaction. They feel it as a threat to their control, even if you remain silent. The narcissist's fear is not of confrontation. It is of exposure, of the truth spilling into the world and dismantling the carefully constructed narrative they rely on. That fear drives them to act preemptively, striking first in subtle and insidious ways to destabilize you before you can make your position clear. Their reactions are instinctive, primal, and unnerving, a demonstration of how deeply their survival is intertwined with deception and dominance. This is why understanding the narcissist's mindset is crucial. They do not operate from empathy, guilt, or morality. Their instincts are purely predatory, focused entirely on self-preservation and control. When they recognize that you see through the mask, every interaction becomes a battlefield. You are the one person who threatens their entire reality, and they will use every tool at their disposal to neutralize that threat. They do not seek reconciliation. They seek dominance. They will attempt to isolate you, undermine your credibility, and erode your confidence until the world questions your perception. Awareness of this pattern is the first step in protecting yourself and reclaiming your power. They know because the entire energy system of the relationship has suffered a catastrophic voltage drop. For years, you were their power source, their emotional battery, the one supplying constant electricity in the form of anxiety, fear, tears, self-doubt, and endless efforts to be good enough. That energy was not a side effect of the relationship, it was the relationship. It was their fuel, their regulation, their sense of control over reality. But the moment you figure them out, something fundamental shuts off. You may still be physically present, still sharing space, still speaking when required, but internally the connection is severed. Your spirit has quietly left the building, and they feel it immediately. They experience this loss like a sudden blast of cold air rushing through a room they thought was sealed. Instinctively, they try to restore the flow. They poke you with subtle insults, provoke you with familiar accusations, or guilt you with old emotional scripts. But instead of the usual surge of emotion, instead of tears or explanations or desperation, they hit something terrifying to them. Nothing. Dead silence. Emotional flatline. The remote control they have used for years to press your pain, fear, and empathy buttons has stopped responding, and that silence unsettles them more deeply than any screaming match ever could, because it signals that their influence is gone. This loss of control leads directly into what happens in their eyes. You will catch them staring at you, often when they think you are not looking. But this is not the gaze of a lover, and it is not even the glare of an angry partner. It is the stare of a predator assessing a threat that no longer behaves predictably. They notice the change instantly. You no longer look at them with confusion, hope, or adoration. You are no longer searching their face for reassurance. Instead, your eyes have sharpened. You are calm, observant, and disturbingly present. You are no longer reacting, you are watching. This is what I call the X-ray stare. You are no longer looking at the mask they carefully present to the world. You are looking straight through it. You see the insecurity, the fragility, the desperate need for control hiding behind the bravado and charm. When a narcissist feels truly seen like this, they feel skinless, exposed, and profoundly unsafe. They know you are no longer interacting with the public saint they manufactured. You are observing the private devil they worked so hard to conceal. The detached clinical awareness in your expression tells them everything. The spell is broken. The god has been reduced to a fraud. Once this realization sinks in, chaos follows. This is when you will witness what I call spaghetti testing. The narcissist knows the old tactics have stopped working, but they cannot accept that yet. So their mind goes into a frantic glitch mode. They begin cycling rapidly through every manipulation strategy they have ever used, desperately testing each one to see if anything still sticks. It is like watching a panicked actor trying on costume after costume, hoping one will still command the audience. Their behavior becomes erratic, inconsistent, and emotionally jarring because they are no longer in control. Within minutes or hours, you may see wild emotional shifts. One moment they are raging, yelling, threatening abandonment or punishment. Shortly after, they collapse into victimhood, crying about their painful childhood and begging for compassion. Then they swing into cold detachment, acting superior and indifferent as if you never mattered at all. And just as suddenly, they may attempt seduction, nostalgia, or charm. None of this is genuine. It is a tactical stress test. They are throwing emotional spaghetti at the wall, searching desperately for the one button that still works, the one reaction that proves they still have access to you. When you stand there and watch this performance without flinching, without rising to the bait, they know the game is finished. When their rage and their tears are met with the same quiet boredom, something collapses inside them. They recognize that you are no longer participating in the play. You are not improvising lines, not defending yourself, not trying to fix the plot. You are simply observing a bad movie you have seen far too many times. As this reality settles in, they understand something devastating. They no longer have an audience. The emotional theater is empty, and the moment they realize manipulation no longer works, something far darker is unleashed. What follows is one of the most chilling experiences a survivor can witness. For the entirety of the relationship, even during moments of cruelty, they maintained a thin layer of plausibility. They needed to believe they were the good one, the misunderstood one, the victim, the righteous partner. But when they know that you know, the pretense evaporates completely. Their face changes in a way that is hard to forget. The muscles relax into something cold and vacant. The charm drains away. You see open, unfiltered contempt. They stop trying to appear human because the audience that required the performance has already left the theater. From that point forward, the private devil comes out full-time. They no longer bother with courtesy, warmth, or small kindnesses. They stop pretending to care how they are perceived by you. You are treated less like a person and more like an object that has malfunctioned and failed to perform its function. The cruelty becomes blunt instead of subtle. The dismissiveness becomes casual instead of hidden. This is not accidental. This is punishment. In their internal moral code, you have committed the ultimate crime. You saw the truth, and for that, they believe you deserve to suffer. As the situation escalates, this punishment often mutates into extreme paranoia, what I call bunker mode. They now view you as an enemy combatant. Because they operate through deceit and malice, they assume you do too. They project their own predatory nature onto you. You will notice them guarding their secrets obsessively, phones turned face down, passwords changed on shared accounts, money quietly moved, conversations taken in driveways or whispered behind closed doors. They behave as if they are under investigation. This is not just secrecy, it is fortification. They are preparing for war, treating the home not as a sanctuary, but as hostile territory where their intel must be protected. The moment they begin accusing you of being the monster is the moment their fear fully surfaces. When a narcissist realizes you now hold the blueprint to their disorder, they try to rip that blueprint from your hands and claim ownership of it. They will look you straight in the eye and label you the narcissist. They will suddenly speak the language you learned to survive them, throwing around words like gaslighting, abuse, empathy, and trauma as weapons. This is not insight, it is sabotage. They are trying to scramble your internal signal to flood you with doubt because clarity is the most dangerous thing you possess. Their goal is simple and deeply calculated. Make you question your own sanity. They want you trapped in endless mental loops, replaying conversations, wondering if you were the problem all along. Am I the narcissist? Am I abusive? Am I imagining this? If they can trap you in that spiral of self-interrogation, they buy themselves time to regroup, time to rebuild their mask elsewhere. Their sudden obsession with convincing you that you are broken is not accidental. It is confirmation. They know you have figured them out, and the only defense they have left is to convince you that your clarity is a delusion. But perhaps the most visceral and unmistakable sign is the physical recoil. It is almost biological. When you are grounded in your truth, when you are no longer fragmented or seeking their validation, you radiate something they cannot tolerate. Authenticity is repulsive to someone living a lie. You will notice them avoiding you physically, not just emotionally. If you enter a room, they leave. If you sit beside them, they stiffen or pull away as if your skin burns. Your presence disrupts their delusion. You remind them of everything they are not, real, honest, alive. Distance becomes their only refuge. This avoidance is not about anger alone. It is about self-preservation. They cannot maintain their false self while standing in the presence of your clarity. Your calm destabilizes them. Your silence exposes them. Being near you forces them to feel the emptiness they work so hard to outrun. So they retreat. They isolate themselves. They create physical space because psychological distance is no longer enough. This repulsion is their instinctive attempt to protect the lie from the truth. To them, you are not just a person anymore. You are a mirror they cannot bear to look into. Finally, the ultimate confirmation arrives with the Scorched Earth Smear campaign. This is the last card they play when control is gone. Because they can no longer control you, they try to control the narrative around you. They know it is only a matter of time before you speak, so they move first. They tell friends, family, coworkers, and neighbors that you are unstable, abusive, addicted, or mentally unwell. This is not gossip. It is a preemptive strike. They are terrified of exposure. So they isolate you, burning bridges to leave you alone and unheard. When you see these signs, do not doubt yourself. The pattern itself is the proof. When you reach this stage, something profound has already changed inside you. Even if your external circumstances have not caught up yet, you are no longer seeking permission to trust your own perceptions. The confusion that once kept you tethered to the narcissist has begun to dissolve, and in its place is a quiet, steady knowing. This is why their behavior escalates so dramatically. They are not reacting to what you are doing, they are reacting to who you have become. Your internal shift threatens the very structure of their identity because their power depended on your self-doubt. What many people do not realize is that narcissistic abuse only functions when the victim is emotionally engaged in trying to fix, explain, or prove themselves. The moment you stop feeding that dynamic, the entire system destabilizes. This is why silence, neutrality, and emotional detachment are so disruptive to them. You are no longer available as a regulator for their emotions. They must now face the emptiness they spent years avoiding by using you. That confrontation is unbearable, which is why they externalize it through rage, paranoia, and blame. At this point, it is crucial to understand that their collapse is not your responsibility. Survivors often feel guilty when they witness the narcissist unravel, especially if the narcissist appears distressed, desperate, or self-destructive. But what you are seeing is not the result of cruelty on your part. It is the natural consequence of reality replacing illusion. You did not cause the dysfunction. You simply stopped participating in it. The discomfort they experience is the same discomfort they avoided by offloading their chaos onto you for years. As you continue to hold your ground, you may notice an urge to explain yourself one last time, to provide evidence, or to seek acknowledgement. This urge is understandable, but it is also the final hook of the dynamic. Narcissists do not seek understanding. They seek leverage. Every explanation becomes material for distortion. Every emotional disclosure becomes a new entry point for manipulation. True disengagement does not look dramatic. It looks boring. It looks like clarity without justification and boundaries without debate. Another difficult realization at this stage is that closure does not come from confrontation. Closure comes from comprehension. When you fully grasp that the person you were trying to reach never existed in the way you believed, the need for validation fades. The grief that follows is real and necessary, not because you lost them, but because you lost the future you were promised. Allowing yourself to mourn that illusion is part of reclaiming your autonomy and your sense of self. As you move forward, your nervous system will need time to recalibrate. Long-term narcissistic abuse conditions the body to remain in a state of hypervigilance. Even after clarity is achieved, your body may still react as if danger is present. This is not weakness, it is conditioning. Healing involves retraining your system to recognize safety again, to distinguish between real threats and old patterns. Patience with yourself during this phase is essential. The most important truth to hold on to is this: seeing clearly is irreversible. Once the illusion has shattered, it cannot be rebuilt in the same way. You may feel moments of doubt, nostalgia, or loneliness, but the awareness remains. You will never again fully believe the performance. That awareness is your protection. It does not make you cynical, it makes you discerning. And over time, that discernment becomes the foundation for healthier relationships, stronger boundaries, and a life rooted in reality rather than manipulation. The liberation that comes from seeing through a narcissist is both exhilarating and disorienting. For years, you were immersed in a world where reality was constantly rewritten, where every word, every gesture, and every silence was filtered through a lens designed to confuse and control you. The cognitive dissonance you felt was not a flaw in you. It was a design flaw in the system they created. Once you step outside of that system, the world appears sharper, clearer, and sometimes uncomfortably bright. You are faced with truths that were always there, but that were invisible under the shadow of manipulation. That brightness can feel harsh at first, but it is the light of freedom. It is also normal to experience a mix of emotions toward the narcissist during this phase. You may feel anger, relief, grief, or even a strange empathy. These reactions are part of recalibrating your moral and emotional compass. What you must recognize is that empathy does not equal vulnerability, and understanding does not equal reconciliation. You can understand their pathology and still maintain your distance. Your clarity allows you to see the distinction between accountability and abuse. The narcissist's behavior is a reflection of their disorder, not a reflection of your worth. Boundaries become your most powerful tool. Physical, emotional, and even digital boundaries are no longer optional. They are necessary for your protection. Establishing these boundaries is not about punishment, it is about survival. When a narcissist senses these boundaries, they may test, provoke, or attempt to circumvent them. That is not a failure on your part. It is confirmation that the boundaries are effective. Every attempt they make to breach your limits is a sign that you are no longer a passive participant. Your presence and autonomy disrupt the carefully maintained ecosystem of their manipulation. Healing after narcissistic abuse is gradual, and it is non-linear. You may have days where memories of past manipulation surface, or where self-doubt creeps in. These moments are not setbacks, they are echoes of old conditioning. Each time you observe these reactions without succumbing, you reinforce your clarity. Journaling, therapy, meditation, and supportive communities all serve as anchors during this recalibration. Your task is to learn to trust your perception again, to rebuild confidence in your instincts, and to reconnect with parts of yourself that were suppressed to survive the abuse. As you reclaim your energy, you also begin to notice subtleties you may have ignored before. How people speak to you, how they respect your space, how they respond to honesty, all of these signals gain new significance. Your inner radar becomes finely tuned to authenticity versus manipulation. This is not paranoia, it is discernment. You begin to prioritize relationships that are reciprocal, transparent, and nurturing. Those who cannot meet these standards naturally fall away, and that is healthy. The vacuum left by their absence is filled with clarity, personal power, and the ability to make choices free of coercion. Ultimately, the experience teaches a deeper understanding of human nature and the dynamics of control. You learn to recognize the patterns before they escalate, to navigate complex emotional systems without losing yourself, and to protect your own mental, emotional, and physical resources. You also learn to identify red flags early, allowing you to avoid future entanglements with manipulative personalities. Over time, this clarity transforms into resilience. The wounds of the past no longer dictate your present, they inform your wisdom. Your past experiences become a guide, not a chain. What you are building now is not just recovery, it is sovereignty. Sovereignty over your mind, your emotions, and your boundaries. Each act of observation without reaction, each moment of calm in the face of provocation, strengthens your autonomy. Each acknowledgement of truth, each reaffirmation of reality strips power from those who sought to control you. You are no longer a participant in a carefully scripted drama. You are the author of your own life. That realization carries immense freedom, and it is the culmination of the hard work you have done in reclaiming your selfhood. Do not think you are imagining it. This is not simply a rough patch in a marriage, a disagreement, or a phase that will pass. This is the collapse of a false reality that has been meticulously constructed over years. The narcissist is revealing their true self because they know you finally see the truth. Every act of rage, every desperate manipulation, every cold withdrawal is confirmation. Your instincts were right all along. You have seen through the illusion, stripped away the layers, and exposed the emperor with no clothes. Their fury is merely the shame of a naked man, cornered, exposed, and with nowhere left to hide. Once you reach this stage, a subtle but profound transformation occurs internally. You begin to recognize the difference between who the narcissist appears to be and who they actually are. The charisma, the charm, the manipulative sweetness that once drew you in are no longer distractions. They are distortions you can see clearly for what they are. This clarity is both empowering and unsettling. You may notice that the longer you observe without reacting, the more erratic their behavior becomes. Their need for control was only effective while you were emotionally available. Now, your neutrality is a mirror reflecting the truth, and that reflection terrifies them. Another aspect that becomes apparent is the narcissist's desperation. As they realize their influence has waned, you witness a spectrum of behavior designed to regain control, but it no longer has the same effect. Spaghetti testing, projection, smear campaigns, silent treatments, all of it becomes predictable. You see the patterns before they fully unfold. This foresight is not just intellectual, it is instinctual. You have trained yourself to recognize the rhythms of their manipulation. You are no longer trapped in the reactive cycle of confusion and fear. Instead, you can navigate interactions with intention, setting clear boundaries and observing their responses without becoming entangled. At this point, your self-worth begins to rebuild organically. No longer defined by their approval or disapproval, you start to recognize your own needs, values, and boundaries. Activities and decisions that were once overshadowed by their control now belong fully to you. Choices are made from clarity, not from the anxiety of pleasing or appeasing. This autonomy feels unfamiliar at first, almost alien, but it grows steadily. Each act of self-determination reinforces the understanding that you are not responsible for their feelings, behaviors, or reactions. This realization is liberating and forms the cornerstone of your recovery. Physical symptoms of abuse may linger, even as mental clarity strengthens. Hyperarousal, tension, and fatigue are common because your body was conditioned for chronic vigilance. Recognizing these as residual effects rather than ongoing threats is essential. Grounding practices, meditation, movement, and therapy are tools that help your nervous system recalibrate. With consistent care, the physiological echoes of abuse begin to fade, leaving room for energy that can be redirected into creative pursuits, meaningful relationships, and self-care. The more you inhabit your truth, the less room there is for their influence. Healing also involves redefining your social landscape. Relationships that were complicit, enabling, or toxic naturally dissolve as your perception sharpens. Those who remain are drawn to your authenticity rather than the version of you crafted for approval. You begin to attract people who respect boundaries, practice honesty, and foster mutual growth. This is not coincidence. It is the natural consequence of living in alignment with your reality rather than the distorted ecosystem of manipulation. Over time, you create a support network that sustains your well-being, reinforces your boundaries, and validates your experiences without judgment or exploitation. The most profound change, however, is in your internal authority. You no longer need external validation to know what is true. The narcissist's power relied entirely on your compliance, confusion, and doubt. Once those are stripped away, they have no leverage. You become the final arbiter of reality within your life. This authority manifests as confidence, intuition, and emotional resilience. Each interaction where you maintain clarity and boundaries strengthens this authority. You no longer flinch at their provocations because you understand the source of the behavior. You are no longer reacting to chaos. You are observing it unfold in real time, untangled from its gravity. Over time, this internal strength transforms how you approach future relationships and life choices. You develop an innate radar for authenticity, manipulation, and emotional availability. You recognize toxic traits early and respond appropriately. You prioritize alignment with your values and emotional health over approval or acceptance. This discernment is not fear-based. It is empowered awareness. You no longer compromise your truth for comfort, love, or convenience. Each decision is grounded in reality, not in manipulation. Each relationship is assessed through the lens of mutual respect, transparency, and reciprocity, creating a life that is sustainable, fulfilling, and free from deception. Do not turn away from this reality. Stand firm in your truth, because it is the only weapon you have that cannot be taken from you. Every lie they told, every manipulation, every attempt to control you now falls flat in the face of your clarity. You are no longer a participant in their theater. You are the observer, grounded, steady, and unshakable. This truth is not just a shield, it is your liberation. Holding on to it allows you to see clearly, to breathe freely, and to reclaim the energy and life that was once siphoned away. Your clarity is your power, and it cannot be stolen. Let this episode be a reminder. Witnessing their true self, their panic, their projection, and their futile attempts at control is not a sign of weakness. It is proof of your awakening. Do not doubt the signals, the behaviors, or the gut instincts that led you here. You have survived, you have recognized, and now you can stand tall. Keep your boundaries strong. Keep your perception sharp. Hold on to the knowledge that this clarity is rare, and it is your guide through the fog of deception. Let it empower every decision, every interaction, and every step forward.